In this video, we will examine the different types of presence in an online course, learn how to incorporate presence into online classes effectively, and identify why presence is so important for student success. Why is presence in an online course essential? Taking online courses can feel isolating for students, like they're working in a bubble. Students want to feel connected to the instructor, to their classmates, and to the learning. Presence brings the human element to an online course and creates a sense of community for the class. Students also will feel more engaged and have a higher chance of success in the course. According to Garrison, there are three principal types of presence in an online course, and these are social presence, teaching presence, and cognitive presence. The first type of presence that we will address is social presence. And basically, social presence is the interaction among students in a class. Social presence establishes learners as individuals and, through the process of relationship building, allows learners to engage in a community of inquiry. The more learners are able to establish themselves with other learners, the more trust they will build. As the level of interaction increases, a greater sense of community can occur where learners can share their divergent thoughts and perspective to construct knowledge and understanding. Some strategies to increase learner to learner interactions or increase social presence in a class would include the following: creating an open and informal discussion board for students to communicate about topics unrelated to the course. Use introduction videos for students so that they can share information and get to know each other. Encourage students to share contact information so they can work together. Also, design group class activities or projects for the online course. Implement peer review activities so students get to work with each other and help through the learning process. Use interactive discussion boards as well as videos and video discussion boards so students can see the other students' work and get to know each other a little bit more. Teaching presence is the interaction between the instructor and the students. And this is arguably the most important type of presence for a good online course. Instructor to learner interaction is a critical component of learner satisfaction, and the lack of it can have a negative impact on learner persistence. The bottom line of all this is that you must continuously monitor and engage with learners to help them persist. The quantity, timeliness, and quality of your interactions with learners are critical to helping them persist in the course and achieve the course outcomes. There are many strategies that one can use to increase instructor presence in an online course. Some of these include creating an introduction video for your students. Students want to know a little bit about the instructor that is teaching the course. Post a picture in the instructor information or profile page in the learning management system. Make sure you send announcements, emails, and reminders regularly in the course. Also, it may be good to include memes, pictures, humor, and supplemental resources in these announcements and emails. Give personalized feedback and address students by their names in your email correspondence. Always reply to emails in a timely manner and acknowledge all emails and assignments received. Model in the discussion boards and write sample posts so that students can see what your expectations are. Be active in the discussion boards. Make sure you're replying to them and giving comments. Have dedicated office hours for online students with links for video calls. And finally, schedule times each week devoted to grading and feedback for your online course. Ideally, An instructor should be present in an online course most days and a minimum of 4 times a week. Cognitive presence is basically the way that a student will interact with the learning materials. A community of inquiry occurs when learners work together to construct experience and knowledge by using critical thinking to analyze the subject matter, ask probing questions, and challenging assumptions. The online experience for learners should be both collaborative and reflective. This is a challenge for online instructors because you must consider ways to develop critical and reflective discourse in a text based medium. Some strategies for cognitive presence. Of all of these, the most important component is chorus design. You want a well designed chorus that will encourage students and challenge students to work through the material. Some other strategies include critical thinking activities and discussions. Encourage active learning in lessons and readings. Use student self reflection activities so that they can gauge their own learning and also the parts that they may need to review. Use engaging chorus materials. Implement frequent low stakes assessments and quizzes to check for learning. And finally, give students resource guides, supplemental materials, and possible information for further exploration. Some of the best practices for learner persistence and to increase student success in an online course are the following. Make sure you have clear policies and guidelines in your syllabus as well as all assignments. Incorporate active learning into the course. Reiterate policies and guidelines frequently to students. Communicate regularly with students. Give personal and prompt feedback. Keep the grade center in your course updated and accurate with a weighted current grade so students always know where they stand in the class. Be encouraging and give plentiful positive feedback with any constructive criticism. And finally, be active in the online class, including in the discussion boards. Some digital tools you may want to consider using to increase presence in your chorus. Some of these, such as remind.com, social media, WhatsApp, Google phone number, and GroupMe, can increase the communication you have with students. For more interactive activities and discussion boards, you can use Nearpod, Padlet, Stormboard, and Packback to make navigation videos for students so that they know how to work through the chorus. Use Screencast-O-Matic. Flipgrid is a great resource to make video introductions as well as to use for video discussion boards. Edpuzzle is a great activity to use for videos with questions. And finally, VoiceThread can make movies from your PowerPoint lectures. Thank you for taking the time to watch this video. While having a well-designed course is so important to having a good class, presence in your online class will be the glue that keeps everything together. And while you are teaching throughout the semester or the academic year, please remember that presence is always going to be essential for student success.